What's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and I'm really glad you're here today because you are here for a first. I discovered this week that when you pre-order decks on Amazon, at least a few days before release, that you don't pay the full price, and the deck is delivered on release day. So this is my first, I don't want to say premiere, but my first unboxing of a brand new release on the day of release, and a true unboxing because it just arrived on my porch. This is Midnight Magic, a tarot deck of mushrooms by Sarah Richard, and as you can see, it still has plastic, so let's get rid of that. Oh, it's already torn. Good, I didn't even need my cute little scissors. All right, nice matte box. Let's take a look. We've got some gilding on the letters, or at least the subtitle letters. Interesting that only that is subtitle or is gilded. This is Simon & Schuster. Illustrations by Sarah Richard. Copyright 2023. Yes, today. Copyright today. Illuminate your path with the beautiful fungi of the forest and beyond. Fungi. Fungi, fungi, fungi. I've heard all three. Discover Midnight Magic, where you'll find 78 unique tarot cards rooted in the mysterious world of mushrooms. Based on the Rider-Waite deck, these cards depict traditional tarot through fungi, from the authoritative red-capped fly agaric as the emperor, to the brightly colored chicken of the woods as the impetuous fool, and so many more. Created by renowned artist Sarah Richard, this deck is filled with magical artwork reflecting the hidden and enchanting power of mushrooms. And then in tiny print, challenging me, it says Sarah Richard is an Eisner and Ringo Award nominated artist from New Hampshire. Her art is inspired by Art Nouveau, Art Deco, funerary imagery, and the natural world. What an interesting combination that is. All right, her creations tend to skew into the macabre and unknown with a balance of sweetness and sentimentality, honoring the Victorian-era theme of memento mori. And if you don't know what that is, memento mori are basically death memorial, like pieces of jewelry and things. The Victorians took locks of hair from the deceased and literally wove them into beautiful things and set them into lockets and pendants and things like that. As a native of New Hampshire, Sarah grew up surrounded by trees and plenty of wild mushrooms. When not making art or writing, she's watching horror movies, cleaning forgotten gravestones with her mom. That's excellent. And collecting possibly haunted curios from the 19th century. Her online gallery can be found at sarahrichard.com, and that's just S-A-R-A Richard.com. Adams Media. So I think I would get along with her very well. This is a very thick and sturdy two-part box, matte except for that gilded subtitle. So here's the book. It's a nice book considering, oh, and it's got color images. All right. The consumption of wild mushrooms that have been misidentified may cause serious illness or even death. Never, under any circumstances, should wild mushrooms be ingested that have not been professionally confirmed as edible. It is the sole responsibility of the reader to positively identify any wild mushrooms they harvest. The author and publisher do not accept liability for any injury, loss, or incidental or consequential damage incurred by reliance on the information provided in this book. The information in this book is for entertainment purposes only. It's for divination only. It's a tarot deck. It's not a mushroom guide. It's not a field guide to wild harvesting mushrooms. So I'm glad that that's right up front. Then we have an introduction, how to use your Midnight Magic deck, about this deck, how to read tarot cards and spreads. Then we have the cards separated into major and minor. Major sources cited. That's nice. So let's see how long the introduction is. Let's read a little bit. I always like to hear something from the from the artist. Sorry. Mushrooms are a magical, ethereal part of nature. They offer potent medicine, culinary delicacy, mind-expanding experiences, folklore, and even solutions to some environmental problems. Hold on. Things are starting to bloom. Okay. Hearing sounds. They are a special type of midnight magic we can all benefit from. Not quite in the animal kingdom, but not limited to the world of plants, mushrooms exist in between, like the veil fluttering between our earthly plane and the spiritual one. Excellent point. And the environmental problems, they are discovering some mushrooms or some form of fungi that can digest plastic. We can find a connection to this spiritual plane through the vast wisdom of the tarot. In connecting certain mushroom species with corresponding tarot cards, you can learn even more about the natural world and yourself. Each tarot card offers insight that you can apply to your life. In this deck, the card's insights are also connected to a specific mushroom species and its tendencies. The wine-cap mushroom, Stropharia rugosoanulata, is a strong and sturdy leader like the King of Wands that is clad in fiery colors and reigns over the smaller cohabitants in the garden. Seeing that card might help you determine your leadership style. The Chaga, Inonotus obliquus mushroom is so tough that you need a hacksaw to harvest it, much like the Strength card showcases the power presiding within you all this time. You'll discover what insights each tarot card can offer your situation while learning about dozens of types of mushrooms from around the globe. This package includes a full tarot deck, including both minor and major, along with instructions about how to do a reading, how to use spreads to gain helpful advice about your life. Mushrooms can light up the night with bioluminescence, change their shapes or colors, transform other materials around them, and shift human consciousness. Just imagine the lessons they can offer you through the insightful lens of a tarot deck. Listen to the vast network of subterranean threads that mushrooms grow from, called mycorrhizal networks, which unite the environment like a switchboard. May this tarot set and its enchanting teachers help you unearth new discoveries about yourself and the world around you. Excellent. See, I like to hear the creator's inspiration and their approach, and I really like that she gives examples of here's why this particular mushroom was paired with this card. So there is rhyme and reason. So about this deck, the deck's illustrations embrace the texture of a black velvet canvas highlighted with organic swirls that will reveal new details in each viewing. All right. Make a spiritual connection to the deck. How to read, shuffling, and then additional tips, keeping a notebook. After doing a reading for someone else, make sure to mentally disconnect yourself from them to avoid their energy sticking to you. Better yet, get your boundaries up to begin with. When you finish a session, respectfully store your cards and thank the energies around you for their help. All right, so the spreads are 1 card, a 3-card past, present, future, and a Celtic cross. And then a 6-card pentagram. Ooh. Card 1 is Earth, the East Point. Okay, air, fire, and water and spirit. And then, but what's the 6? Card 5. Wait a minute. Card 5, and then there's an S, which is the significator, I'm assuming. Let's see, what is it? Yes, place this card face up. So choose a major that represents you. So you choose that consciously. And it will be the middle of the star. It represents yourself or the querent as best you can interpret. See, why would you, I don't like taking up a spot in a reading for a significator that you choose and remove from the deck. If you're going to choose a significator like that, choose it mentally and leave it in the deck. Like, for instance, if somebody's asking me about their psychic gifts, there are several cards to me that signify psychic gifts. The High Priestess, the Hermit, the Moon, the Queen of Cups are 4 that spring to mind, all right? The Star. And so I'm going to be looking for those. But I'm not going to remove them from the deck and say, here's the question I'm asking about, because I want those cards to be able to show up, right? So if you're the person you're reading for has a strong significator in mind, or you do, leave it in the deck and know that if it shows up, it is significant, because it's the significator. Okay, sometimes it can validate the reading for you. You say, we're asking about this, and you lay cards out and you see some of those significators, and it's like, all right, we have a valid spread here. Then we go into the cards. There's a description of the majors, and then looky, we have full color pictures in this little book, and the images are nearly the size of the cards. So those are the majors. And at the beginning of the minors, we have a page on each of the suits and what they represent element-wise. And then we have smaller versions, still full color, of the cards. We have upright and reversed. For the majors, we have the name, the scientific name, the description of the mushroom, and then we have upright and reversed. Now, when we get to the minors, oh, how interesting. So rather than a section on the actual mushroom, right, hold on a second. Brought a crime to light and gathering of mushrooms, fruit, corpse finder. Okay, corpse finder. All right, I'm kind of confused here. We get the Latin names on the card, but we don't get them in the book. We just get the keywords or the colloquial name: Destroying Angel, Corpse Finder, Burn Morel. So this Ace of Wands, what's fascinating here is it says this card overrules any negative minor arcana card nearby and signals incoming good news. So, wow. And then we have upright, and we have keywords under each upright and reverse. There are 3 keywords, and there are at least 3 keywords for the majors, sometimes 4. All right, and at the very end, we have the little pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little pages for notes, and it's just so funny because, you know. Now, I could see writing in here, this is the date that I bought this deck, you know, the date it came into my collection, stuff like that. Or this is so-and-so gifted this to me. Oh, okay, let's read about Sarah. Look at all the websites she's listed. So wait, back up here. At the end, we have major sources cited. We've got Tarot Made Simple. We've got Complete Language of Flowers. We've got Forensic Mycology and National Audubon Society Field Guide to North American Mushrooms. And then there's all these websites: Biddy Tarot, First Nature, Forager Chef, iNaturalist, Labyrinthos, Learn Tarot, Mushroom Expert, Mushroom Mountain, Numerology Sign, Tarot Merchant, Tarot Oak, The Tarot Guide, ThisMightHurtTarot.com, Wild Food, and Wikipedia. Wow. All right. Sarah Richard is an artist and writer living in the woods of New Hampshire, surrounded by screaming blue jays and quiet toadstools. She's illustrated covers and interior stories for comic books for a decade, and has illustrated a previous tarot set for DC Comics. Ah! Her art has been displayed in galleries from London to Los Angeles, Seattle to Salem, Massachusetts. Her interest in mycology emerged just before the start of the COVID-19 lockdowns. On a hike up Crotched Mountain with her friend Natalie, Sarah found her first chicken of the woods. And after she researched its edibility thoroughly and got over an ingrained societal fear of poisoning herself with wild fungi, her world expanded to involve the phenomenal and fantastic science of mycology and the joy of foraging. She hopes the transcending connection foraging brings by uniting people to nature will rub off on whoever bonds to this tarot deck. When not searching for new to her species of mushrooms, making art or writing, she's watching horror movies. Okay, we read that on the back. Now, let's get to okay, this is kind of weird. You see, I thought this was a border, but it's not. It's an insert. Let's see if we can shake that out of here. I kind of appreciate that they put like a little insert so the cards aren't rattling around in the box, but you know what would be a better idea? Make the cards the right size for the box. It's just kind of cardboard colored in there, I guess. But, you know, they're going to rattle around a little bit, but the book fits the box. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just make everything uniform and make it fit the box. Look how beautiful. Look at the jumping spiders and the salamanders, and there's a cricket and ladybugs. So, all right, I didn't look inside here. Is there anything exciting? No, just cardboard color. You know, I think this might be the longest intro I've ever done to a deck. I'm just looking and seeing that I've been talking for 16 minutes already, and I'm just now getting to the actual deck. So here is the back, and it is reversible. Always a good thing for a tarot deck. Pretty chunky. I'm trying to, you know, call to mind other Simon & Schuster decks that I have. Can't really pull it up out of my memory, but they're relatively thick, relatively stiff. I don't think shuffling is going to be a joy on this deck. All right. Here's the Fool. Chicken of the Woods, Latoporus sulphureus. Please forgive my mutilating of the Latin. And so we have, so she was talking about using the standard RWS imagery. How did she put it? Where was it? Okay. Definitions with this in this guide are aligned with the classic Rider-Waite Tarot set. All right, the blah blah blah. Dexilus embrace it, highlighted with organic swirls. But where did I read that? She was talking about the traditional imagery. I mean, here it said the definitions in the book. But, all right, whatever, let's go. So we see a little fox looking at the chicken of the woods, and a little moth and a moon. But I don't really see like an image. This doesn't call to mind an image of the Fool to me. The mushrooms are certainly beautifully illustrated, as is the fox. And it says the Fool and 0, so I will just draw upon what I know about the traditional image of the Fool there. Here's the Magician, Little Birds of the Woods, Psilocybe hugjagonii. And there's the Magician. So again, would I look at this image and say, oh, that reminds me of the Magician card of the Tarot? Not in 1,000 years. Fairy Ring Champignon, which is Marasmius Oreades. And there's the High Priestess. Okay, so we do get a little, these trees, the dark tree, the light tree. Look, there's the J, there's the B. So there is just a little bit of an illusion. So this is kind of, I guess, the priestess herself. Hen of the Woods, Grifola frondosa, and that's the Empress. Looking all abundant. Here's the Emperor, Fly agaric, Amanita muscaria, deadly poisonous. The Hierophant, Turkey Tail, Tremades versicolor. So we've had Chicken of the Woods, Hen of the Woods, and Turkey Tail. And I do believe all of those are edible. I have had Turkey Tail. Fucking delicious. Caesar's mushroom, Amanita caesarea. This is the Lovers. I don't know if that I said this is the Hierophant. So we have, you know, like the two acolytes and the thing. So, you know, just a bare echo of the composition of the RWS. Here's the Lovers, so we have two here and something up above. Caesar's mushroom, Amanita caesarea. And this is the chariot, conifer cone cap, Biospora myosura. I mean, this kind of gives an image of movement, maybe. Chaga, strength, Ina nodus obliquus. So this is the one that you need a hacksaw to harvest because it's so frickin' tough. Here's the hermit. I mean, look, you see there's a hand here holding a light. There's a staff, very interesting. This is the artist's conch, Ganoderma applanatum. The Wheel of Fortune. Look at the vulture head up here. So we've got some things showing up in like wispies. That is certainly the head of a vulture. Common puffball, Lycoperdon perlatum. Very, very interesting. So the puffballs, I guess, you know, if you kick them or something, they poof out all their spores. Is that what that is? Then we have Justice, Old Man of the Woods. Strobilomyces floxopus. Flockopus? But here's Justice. Interesting. I almost wanted to say tower when I first saw this because of this pillar in the middle. Velvet shank. Flammulina velutipes. Velutipes. The hanged man. Hanging from the tree. Destroying angel. This is the death card. Amanita bisporigera. Wow. Then we have shiitake, Lentinula eudodes temperance. Look at the cardinal. So we can actually see some water flowing from this mushroom to this mushroom. So, you know, it's tenuous, but there's an anchor here. This is the devil, and we have lobster mushroom, Hypomyces lactiflorum. And look at how there's a spider web joining these two together, and there's the spider. So we do get that idea of, you know, being chained. And I'm assuming these are two forms of the same mushroom there. Although that one, gotta say, kind of looks like the destroying angel. Yellow netted stinkhorn. The Latin name is Phallus multicolor, and that's the tower. So you can kind of see lightning-y looking things. So yeah, I mean, she used that. This mushroom puts down this skirt kind of thing, and she used that to kind of indicate the lightning strikes. That's very cool. And there's like a thorn piercing the mushroom there. There's all kinds of little insects and things flying in these images. Here's the star, golden reishi, Ganoderma curtisii. Reishi, one of the wonderful, I can't remember whether it's maitake or reishi, that's called the mushroom of immortality. I think it's maitake. Beautiful. And we do have a star up there. Then we have the moon. Ooh, boy, I never would guess this is the moon. Look at the little, like, water bugs, I guess. Eastern jack-o'-lantern, Omphalotus illudens, and that's the moon. Then we have the sun, golden oyster mushroom, Pleurotus citrinopiliatus, the sun. So we've got some sunflowers in the background that can kind of indicate the sun. We got little butterflies, kind of looks, you know, there's light coming from here. Judgment, corpse finder, oof, Hebeloma surgensi. Wow. And there's a headstone. And there's ghost pipe. So there's another, I think it actually is a form of fungus because it doesn't have chlorophyll in it, but it's this thing that comes up and it looks like a pipe, but it's completely white. Very cool. Honey mushroom, and this is Judgment. No, this is the world. That was Judgment. Judgment was the corpse finder. The world is honey mushroom Armillaria ostoye. Boy, I hope you're in for a long ride today, because this is going to be one. Burn Morel Morchella tomentosa, the Ace of Wands. So we see a hand picking it. We see smoke and stuff, and now we've got like a little border around the top. So that might be a really easy way to distinguish majors from minors, because the print at the bottom is the same, is that the minors have this little border. Bleeding tooth fungus, 2 of Wands. I don't think I'm going to do all the Latin names for these, or we'll be here forever. Interesting. Bleeding tooth fungus. Here's cedar apple rust, and that's the 3 of Wands. So we're really not going to see things that indicate to us what the actual tarot card means. Here's the 4 of Wands, and here, interestingly, I mean, the backgrounds are so dark. Got little birds flying there. Here we've got a staircase. This is birch polypore is the mushroom. And we've got all kinds of these little beings and things flying, and this stairway that goes up. So even knowing the 4 of Wands in the standard Smith-Waite deck, we've got, 4 pillars, people building something. It's like a bridal bower or a canopy. We don't see that here. We get kind of this bower, but the stairs are something new. All right. You do get the idea of building a structure. Orange pinwheel. This is the 5 of Wands. So we do see 5 of these. So they are kind of pippish in that regard. Here's a 6. So they're not kind of pippish in that regard, because 2, 3, 4, maybe that's 5 and that's 6. I don't know. We shall see. Red chanterelle. But look at all the ants. And the 7 of Wands is eternal light mushroom. So let's think of the 7 of Wands. It's standing your ground. And they are pippish, because we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And then you've got like a firefly. So we do sort of see one person standing and the others coming at him, sort of, kind of, with the idea of maybe a wand coming across. Are the borders, so the borders are the same for the suit of Wands. I assume that we're going to get a different border for each of the suits, but that does give a little bit of consistency. And here's something else I'm noticing. Usually decks will distinguish majors and minors by Roman numerals on the majors and actual Arabic numbers on the minors, but these all have Roman numerals. So that border that immediately your eye can distinguish and say this is a minor, this is a major, is a very helpful thing. And so you can see choices that are made. We make the choice to have this print, to have the titling the same and the numbering the same, and so that border really becomes a functional thing, and I appreciate that. So there's the 7. Here's the 8, red coral. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can't really count that, so no, not pippish. The 9 is poison fire coral. Wow. The 10 is blackening wax caps. Whew. Wow. Then we have the page, pink burn cap, and look at the little salamander coming out. Salamanders magically are the magical creature of the element of fire. So we see that salamander in the page here. And we see like little cups, very interesting. Then, oh, check it, the copper snake, and this is coming out of a skull for the night. There's our salamander again. But look at them growing out of this, like a horse skull, maybe? The queen is luminescent Pinellus, this copper spike. Did I say that on this one? Luminescent Pinellus, Queen of Wands. We have another skull in here. This time it is a carnivore skull. Still the salamander, and then here's the king, wine cap. All right, new border. Yes, hey, here's the cups, and we have this beautiful border with purple flowers. Right away, the Ace of Cups has a very different feel from the Ace of Wands. Look at the difference in color palette. Lots of little clues here. There's some deep thought behind this deck. This is fluted bird's nest fungus. So here's these little things. There's the Ace of Cups. Wow. The 2 is indigo milk cap. Little snakes. The 3 is stalked scarlet cup. It does look kind of joyous, doesn't it? Joyous and celebratory. And this, we see the 2 interacting. Okay, here's the 4, white basket fungus. The 5, ink stain bolete. Wow. Looks like it's been cut down the middle. Pixie's parasol is the 6. Older, younger. Black trumpet is the 7 of cups. Oh, look at that. So we see kind of, is that a little mask there? A little being critter there or something? I don't know. There's, looks like a knife. Black trumpet. Wow, gorgeous. Shaggy ink cap is the 8 of cups. And we do see an actual being walking away. So, you know, more or less with each card, more or less, you know, clues as to what the card is. Water Club Mushroom is the 9 of cups. So there's the wish card with a very self-satisfied frog. And then we have Portobello is the 10 with the rainbow in the background. Beautiful. Then we've got the page, blue pink gill. And there's... are these undines? I see frog there. So I'm looking for, because we used a magical creature in the wands, I'm looking for the undines, which is the magical creature of water. So what does an undine look like? Who knows? Purple Lacaria is the knight. We've got a snail there. So we don't have that same kind of consistency. There's a frog, there's a snail, there's a shell. This is the queen, Nargan's bonnet. And verdigris agaric is the king. So we have another shell there. I'm a little disappointed that it sort of went out. There's a shell, there is a snail. All right. Now we have the swords and a new border. The parasol is the ace. You see a little sword right there. Then we have the 2. Look at how they're crossing each other. Piggyback rosegill. You see why it's called piggyback. This is false morel, the 3. Wow, and I think false morel may be poisonous, and that's why, you know, it's representing heartbreak here. Snow fungus is the 4 of swords. And there's a little bird skull there. Wow. The 5 is orange birch bolete. Okay, 5 of swords. We can see people walking away here. Like, again, little tiny hints. Aquatic gild mushroom is the 6 of swords. Amethyst deceiver is the 7. Ooh. Any mushroom called a deceiver, stay away. Columned stinkhorn is the 8 of swords. Then we've got blushing milk cap is the 9. And anemone stinkhorn is the 10. I love the way stinkhorn. All right, then we have the page deadly gallerina. Zombie ant fungus is the Knight of Swords. Oh, this is the one that grows inside of an ant and then, or a grasshopper, and that it's so gross. Okay, on we go. Lion's mane. Yes, another wonderful mushroom, and that's the Queen of Swords. Look at the skull. And then we've got the destructive Foliota is the king. On to pentacles. Perigord truffle. We do see a pentacle there. Then barometer earth star is the 2. I hope we don't end up with a whole bunch of noise in a few minutes because they're power washing the buildings and they may be getting to ours. So barometer earth star. Green elf cup is the 3. The king oyster is 4. What the heck is going on? I think it might be my neighbor taking stuff off her porch. I hope you can't hear that. Devil's cigar is the 5 of Pentacles. So look, it must come up and then it opens and puts out this, the 5 of Pentacles. Then we've got the Prince is the 6 of Pentacles. Dune Cup is the 7. The Blob is the 8. The Wood Bluet is the 9. And the Branched Colibia is the 10. I would imagine that there aren't any poisonous ones in Pentacles. Here's the Hedgehog mushroom for the page. Here's the White Truffle for the Knight. The Elegant Earth Star is the Queen with some crystals. And then King Belit is the King of Pentacles. Okay, well, I mean, it certainly has lots of thought behind it, as far as, you know, overall design and cohesiveness, and, you know, there are little hints. I would, right off the bat here, say maybe not a beginner's deck. If you want to learn Rider-Waite-Smith, she says that meanings are, you know, the same, but we'll find out. We shall find out. Let's put the box away and do a little blessing. I think I need to reload my cedar, but we'll use what's here. I was going to say, you know, I hope you guys will comment below what you think of this, but I bet nobody else has it yet. So let me know if, you know, this unboxing sways you to try this deck. There we go. All right. By air and fire, may you be purified and charged, inspired and activated. And by water and earth, may you be blessed and made whole. And by the bell, may the spirit in you be activated. And you too. I've been using that bell lately for like my jewelry and stuff, and actually putting it in the bowl and then striking the bell. It's pretty cool. Yes, guides and guardians, allies and ancestors, thank you for being here. I am offering you fresh water and the fire of Azrael. Please, may the spirit of divination be engaged. Let's see what kind of a reading we get from it. Here we go. First shuffle. It is kind of chunky, but not too chunky. You know what? It doesn't bridge very well. And I feel like even with that first shuffle, we've got a little bit of a bend. So, you know, cardstock, talk to US Games, because cardstock, for every other kind of, you know, regular playing card deck that anybody uses, I'm not going to do that again, because, yeah, look at, they have a marked bend in them after 2 riffle shuffles. That's not good. Okay, Simon & Schuster, I'm going to tell you this, the same thing that I say to all these other publishers. You know, find out what makes cards easy to use. Go to US Games, give us a card stock that is easy to shuffle, that is going to hold its shape. Pull out any playing card deck that you've used forever and look at it. They're straight. They don't bend. But this cardboard bends and stays bent. So that's very disappointing. And I'm going to do a split and pull because they also are not cut shuffling very easily. They're coming out in chunks, and we're going to get cards that are very much next to each other. So, yeah, God, I'm going to riffle them one more time, but I'm going to do it upside down to try to kind of bend them back the other way. And I'm going to take just parts of the deck. Why does this have to be such a struggle? Why is no one, even in marketing, paying attention to other publishers? All right, one more cut shuffle this way. This deck could benefit from fanning powder. You see how it kind of, they started separating, but over here they're kind of chunky. I mean, not too bad. Not too bad. But we're still going to do a cut and pull. And let's go back to this 6-card pentagram. Earth card represents the problem. Air represents how other people are external. No, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do a straight up. All right. So, what do you have to tell us today? Midnight Magic deck. What do you have to tell us today? What do we need to know today? This is a reading for the collective. How can we do our best today? What message do you have for us? What do we need to know? I would like 3 cards, please. All right. And what do you know? We have 3 majors. Even though I shuffled, even though I did a split and pull, we have 3 major arcana. I'm going to add a couple more once we get through these because I like to see, you know, how each, the majors, the minors, and the courts represent. So we have Hen of the Woods, which is the Empress first. Looking like a mother hen hidden beneath old oaks and maples, the hen of the woods is a plentiful food source. It's fitting, then, that this mushroom is connected to the Empress card, which represents motherly nurturing, abundance, and protection. Creative and resourceful, hens will adapt to their environs by growing around sticks, rocks, and even other mushrooms into large, edible armfuls of food that can weigh up to 30 pounds or more. This mushroom is regarded as both an ancient medicine and delicious meal. So 30 pounds or more. Yes, perfect for the Empress. Upright is motherhood, resources, nurturing, and abundance. Those are the key words. Surround yourself with things that nurture and support you on all levels, body, mind, and spirit. You are cultivating your goals into a strong, authentic reality. When you have attended to your own goals, you can find fulfillment in helping others with theirs. Okay, reversed says overprotective infertility creative block. Your goal may be suffering because you're over-mothering something or someone. We often have good intentions, but we can get over-involved in the lives of others and risk smothering or violating boundaries. Pull your energy back and meditate on why you are micromanaging. Let this self-reflection guide you like a mother's advice. Okay, so obviously we're going with upright here, so surround yourself with things that nurture and support you on all levels. That's the message we have today, particularly in trying times and times of great stress. You have to, even more importantly, nurture yourself in ways that please your senses, in ways that help you relax, that remind you of the joy of life, even amidst whatever turmoil you're in. And then we have the Emperor. So how did I get consecutive cards when I did 3 separate splits? It tells me that maybe the deck split in the same place both times. Anyway, let's read. The fly agaric is an iconic mushroom, usually the very image we conjure up when we think of a mushroom. They grow large and strong and aren't afraid to flaunt their bright oranges, yellows, and reds, colors that broadcast their toxic effects to any creature who dares eat it. Like the Emperor card, the fly agaric has earned respect and can teach you a lot about control and leadership. The upright keywords are stability, discipline, dependability, and leadership. You are being guided by the king of mushrooms. The fly agaric has the strength and stability to tower over smaller fungi. It has shaped fables, both ancient and modern, with its grand beauty and psychedelic properties. Embrace your leadership opportunity with a fair hand and a calm and expanded mind, and follow through with your responsibilities. I like the way she ties in the qualities of the mushroom, the effects it would have on you, with the traditional meanings here. I'm not going to read the reverse. Let's go here and then we'll take a couple more. Temperance is shiitake. Shiitake. So named for growing on shii tree logs for cultivation, the shiitake is an ancient medicinal and culinary mushroom. It is a prolific decomposer of wood and even an inhibitor of leukemic cells. The health benefits of the shiitake show the practical versatility of this balanced mushroom, while it can also be used to create delicious dishes. Creation and destruction, both are balanced, like temperance, inside this humble little brown mushroom. Balance your life, and the 3 keywords: patience, balance, refinement. Balance your life by doing away with harmful habits. Calm your mind and look for inner harmony in a chaotic world. Blend different aspects of your life to create a balanced and transcendent solution, much like an artist blending watercolors or a chef combining spices. I love the way, and she's not just repeating, A.E. Waite or, Stuart Kaplan's meanings for the RWS deck. She is definitely adding her own understanding, and she has a very good understanding. I like this blend different aspects of your life. That's very cool. So we have the call to nurture ourselves with abundance. We have the call to be exercise stability and dependability, exercise our discipline. And then we've got balance. So, we balance these 2 things, the nurturing and the disciplinary. And I'm just going to take 2 off the top now and see what happens. Oh, look, we've got another major. And now we get a court. And then let's take here. And another king. I really want, and there's another major. I really want just a minor. There's an ace. Look, we've got majors, kings, and aces. Wow. And there's the King of Wands. How did all the kings end up together? And there's the Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands, Knight of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. We're just going to put that there so we can read one of those. Holy moly, you guys. And I think it kind of goes to show you that when you can't do a riffle shuffle, you can't get like a really good shuffle. It also tells me that this deck has a really loud voice. Because how did all the queens and kings and knights end up together there? I don't know. All right, let's look at the King of Pentacles here. This is the King Bolete. This substantial edible mushroom is a meaty giant. Okay, so we do get information on mushroom, every single mushroom with every single card. This substantial edible mushroom is a meaty giant that could be a feast in itself. As the King of Pentacles card rules this suit, the King Bolete reigns over the forest floor and provides food for many animals and insects. Its flesh does not change color like other boletes when sliced or bruised. Upright is prosperity, protection, dependable. Your needs are completely met, and material security has been attained by your calloused hands. You can support and offer protection to others by sharing the bountiful wealth you've secured. Thank you, Sarah, for that writing on court cards. it really does make it personal to the person you're reading from. You can support and offer protection to others. This is what the King is about. I really appreciate that. Let's just read the Hermit real quick. Upright inner work. The Hermit card, or inner work, introspection, analysis, self-discovery. The Hermit card reminds you that you can be alone without being lonely. Check in with yourself. Are you doing okay? Are you looking to shift your life into a new direction? The Hermit reminds you to become more familiar with your true self before moving forward. The most potent spiritual lessons come when things are quiet. I love her writing. I love her writing. You know, you guys, really the only complaint I have about this deck is cardstock. That's it. I think that the writing is wonderful. She brings a new voice to traditional meanings. It's very practical. It's very understandable. Friendly. Okay, King of Cups, diplomatic, balanced, fatherly. This card inspires warm and civil diplomacy with an even-tempered, patriarchal hand. Follow your intuition to expertly outmaneuver obstacles and bolster those around you with steady encouragement. Now let's read the Two of Cups. And this is turning out not to be so much of a collective reading here, but that doesn't matter. This is, you know, I want you to see what every part of this deck does. So the Two of Cups is indigo milk cap. Upright, oh, and this says indigo, a calming and peaceful hue reminiscent of the water element. Associated with this suit is an unusual color for a mushroom. Finding a pair of these unique creatures is a gratifying sight after a soaking rain. This card represents a mutual flow of emotions between two spirits. You can see that. And we've got two little, I don't know whether they're snakes or they're little, you know, salamanders or lizards or something here, but we see two coming together. This, just in illustrating the mushrooms, she has illustrated what she just said. Two spirits coming together. Upright, collaboration, harmonious partnerships, mutual attraction. Partnerships and creativity swell from matched souls who share similar values, allowing unconditional love to flow. This alliance creates sturdy foundations and sound solutions. I want to take a look real quick at like 9 and 10 of Swords, how she deals with really negative stuff. And this is Anemone Stinkhorn. The 10 of Swords announces that what seems like a chaotic explosion might only be a natural transitional event. The reproductive phase of the Anemone Stinkhorn looks and smells like a struggle has ended violently, but there's poignant peace within the dramatic scene. Upright is painful endings, lessons, crisis. An arrangement is ending painfully, maybe even inevitably, but there will be rest following this trial. Appreciate the lessons you've learned from this hard time instead of focusing on the crisis itself. Let's look at 9 of Swords. Anxiety, insomnia, depression, past external traumas are keeping you up at night. Face those troubles head-on by talking to someone who can help. Learn what depression might look like for you, which could be different from what society characterizes it is. Very good. Very, very, very good, Sarah. Applause, applause. I am so happy I have this deck. I'm so happy I was able to unbox it for you and give you a first look. I'm sure there are others that have, you know, that have a relationship with publishers and get things before they're published, but that ain't me. And I will take a moment to say here too that I am never sponsored. None of my videos are sponsored. I purchase these decks on my own so you get an honest opinion, and my honest opinion is this deck is worth it. Particularly if you have a foundation in the RWS Tarot. She really sticks with traditional meanings, but she brings her voice to it, and it is a very easily understood, simple, yet insightful voice. So really, really good writing, Sarah. Really beautiful, absolutely beautiful artwork, and an excellent resource deck for you know, recognizing certain types of mushrooms. Except that what you should do is allow this deck to send you to an actual mushroom identification book. Definitely need a real book that will separate the edibles from the non-edibles and help you to distinguish. I know there are some like morels, there's false morels that ain't good, but you know, if you want to identify and go wildcraft mushrooms, get the proper identification tools. But this deck is definitely a celebration of the variety of fungi and mushrooms, and I'm pretty thrilled with it. Thank you so much, Sarah Richard, sorry, and thank you so much, Simon and Schuster. But Simon and Schuster, do a little research on cardstock next time, please. Please and thank you. Not good that cards stay bent when you shuffle them. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Are you inclined to get this deck? If you already have got your own copy today, let me know what you think of it. I'm thrilled. All right, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me here in the Slow Zone. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want more of this, please subscribe. And there's a wish list down below. If you purchase me a deck off of that, I will read personally for you on my video. Anyhow, thanks so much for hanging out. I'll see you next time. This is Luna. Blessed be.